Okay, first one is
Pick the best ones.
from Jossie. I think I'm saying that right. Josse. So let's listen to it.
Hello, Josse here, a long-time listener
Lovely
from
accent.
Belgium. You may have noticed, first Belgian fighter since Tarek Safedine fought a few weeks ago, Gaetano Pirello, in a losing effort to Ricky Simon. He was, as I said, the first fighter from Belgium to fight in the UFC since Tarek Safedine, losing to Rafael dos Anjos in his welterweight debut in 2017, which is sad, to be honest. So my question is, what should fighters from regions like this, small countries who don't have a lot of opportunities to fight, what should they do? Should they just relocate? Should they
Interesting.
take whatever is offered, try to fight in Cage Warriors, KSW, or RS Championship, who has to get off the ground a bit first?
Yeah.
So yeah, a bit of advice for aspiring fighters from regions like this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Petey, do you want to hit that one up first?
Yeah, I guess it's tough for guys to get there if they aren't winning belts in those regional promotions. I think the UFC Cage Warriors is the best option for Belgium. They've had a lot of Belgian fighters in their ranks over the years, so I think that's the best way to go about it, to be honest. I know they've featured a lot of guys. If you can get to the top there, I think, that's how you get to the UFC. And look, we've all been there. These European countries, we know what it feels like to go a long time without having someone in there. So my heart goes out to you, my friend. But, hopefully you can see some more guys. Look, I feel like Aries could be a good promotion to get to the UFC with too. It's just very early on. But they already have big names. They've got a lot of UFC veterans, and they have the great Rug, who we all love. So, yeah, I feel like that's the best way to go about it right now in Europe, is to go through the Cage Warriors ranks.
Yeah, I think it's tough as well. We obviously aren't on the Belgian scene as well, and I'm not sure how many gyms there is or are you in Belgium as well. Maybe there's less fighters coming out and fighting on the regional scenes, and that seems to be the case. But if there's obviously talent there, from what we've seen. Tarek Safedine was a wonderful fighter. I used to love watching Tarek fight. A great champion, and obviously Strikeforce, former champion. So yeah, listen, hopefully we see some more guys from Belgium. That'd be great. Do appreciate the question, my friend. Nice one.
Yeah, look, Donovan Desmay isn't that far away either, guys. Two fight win streak there with Cage Warriors, 2 fights cancelled with Paddy Pimblett. He's a very good fighter. I wouldn't be at all surprised if I see him in the UFC someday.
Yeah. Nice one. Appreciate it, Jossie. All right, Nathan Masterson with the next question. Let's play this.
Powerful second name.
My lads, how's getting on? Nathan here from Dunshaughlin in County Meath. Just enrolled from yourself, Pete, to the NDM3 there. My question pertains to TJ Dillashaw. There's two questions really. One, how do you think he's going to get on? The division's changed a little bit since he's left. There's a new champion in, etc. Just thoughts on how he'll get on. And then second, what do you guys think of his return in general? Should he return? Should the UFC brought him back? Seems like maybe the UFC missed the trick here. Could have been a chance to set down a precedent to say, look, we're not dealing with people who take steroids. So yeah, that's it. 2 questions. Love the show, lads. Keep me going through lockdown, fuck's sakes. But yeah, thanks a lot, lads. Take it easy. Enjoy the show.
Nice one, brother. We appreciate that. Interesting one.
Up the Vortex. Dunshaughlin forever. Never forget. Sticky Floortex, baby. We love it.
Interesting one. I think
go ahead,
it seems to be the fight that is going to welcome back. We talked about it a little last week, that we thought TJ Dillashaw might be brought back in to fight for a title. That's not going to be the case now from what we've learned over the weekend. Obviously, we're going to see Aljo fight Peter Yan again. So that's not going to be the case there. But Corey Sandhagen came out on ESPN broadcasting the pre-weigh-in show, and he was on there with the guys, I think it was DC and Laura Sanko and those lot, and basically said the UFC have effectively brought up TJ Dillashaw's name as a potential opponent for him as a number 1 contender's bout. So that looks like that's going to happen next, which I think is a very sensible fight. It's big name for Corey Sandhagen and TJ Dillashaw, former champion. I'm glad he's sort of not getting the title shot, because he's, obviously what he did and the 2-year ban. I think it's maybe a wise decision from the UFC for once. And I think there's just been a lot of contenders have emerged into the division. It's a very interesting landscape, the bantamweight division, over the last 12 months. The evolution we've seen, the older guys sort of drop out, and we've seen all this fresh new breed come in. So it's a very, very different place to where TJ Dillashaw was 2 years ago, and a place I think now. Obviously, USADA are going to be very, very stringent with this guy, and I think it's a place where we might see him struggle. It's a long, long time out.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think Sandhagen and TJ is a great fight. The reason why they don't take a stand is they never have. If you look at the UFC's roster, it's littered with guys who've popped for performance-enhancing drugs. So if they were to take a precedent with that, you're getting rid of so many guys straight away. Come to my head. John Jones, a fixture at light heavyweight. You're going to get rid of TJ. Obviously, is gone. Brian Ortega's gone at featherweight. I mean, there's so many guys who have popped under the USADA era. So I think it's a bad precedent. Like from the UFC's point of view, I think there is people within the sport that would like to see that kind of thing happen, but TJ is in a situation now where he gets to bleed a new guy into the championship mold. And I think that's perfect for Sandhagen. If Sandhagen beats TJ, it's a huge win. Everybody knows who TJ is. People want to see TJ lose now. Don't get me wrong. People want to see this guy lose because of what's happened. And that's going to be a great pop for Sandhagen if he manages to get done. And on the flip side, if TJ can beat Sandhagen, it means he's still right there in the championship mix. And I think they should use Dominic Cruz in a similar way as well. Now that he's won against Kenny, they were trying to set that up as here's Casey Kenny's big moment. Give someone else an opportunity to fight a Dom Cruz now. They're not quite in the title mix, but if he wins against a contender again, he's right there. So, yeah, that's how I see it.
And I think as well, just one more thing to add to that. I think it's a really good name for Sandhagen as well, and maybe maybe shows what the UFC and how the UFC perceives Sandhagen as a guy who can potentially go in there and and beat TJ Dillashaw. It's a big fight for him, and it puts him very much firmly, I think, in that title picture with this fight. So yeah, all good in my opinion, and I like that matchmaking. Okay, next one we have here. There's no name. This is Mr. Bollinger sent this in.
Hey guys, how's it going? Kyler Ballinger here.
Hi Ballinger.
I'm an American, but I live in Spain. I moved here relatively recently. I was living in California before, so watching the fights, especially the pay-per-views, was incredible. They would start at 7 o'clock, and then the main event would walk out at 9, something like that.
Oh, poor you.
By 11:30, even
I
after
said it was great,
watching post-fight stuff. Now, it's insane. I don't know what to do. We got 259 coming up this weekend, and I'm worried for my health, for my mental health. The last 2 weeks have been crazy. To watch what? To watch Cyril gone? I'm fucking staying up all night. What do you guys do?
Come on.
Stay up all night, or you watch in the morning? Tips. Help me out.
Tips. Harden the fuck up, mate, and suck it up and watch it. That's what we've been doing for fucking 5 years. Are you serious?
5 years? Are you joking me? Well, more like fucking 15.
Years. What am I talking about? Yeah, fucking hell. Like, Jesus, man. Get a grip. Come on, PT. This is that's a terrible, harden up, dude.
But you'd understand, right? You'd understand if you were living in California your whole life and you had this beautiful thing where the fights were on at a convenient time for you, and then you move over here and you're like, fuck this sport.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just part and parcel.
He's right? Our livelihoods are kind of contingent on us watching the fights all the time. Like, they weren't for a long time either. We weren't making money, or we weren't employed in the industry, say. So, yeah, I honestly, some of the fights, honestly, when I'm watching them, I'm like, imagine just a fan staying up here to watch this. It's very tough work. It's not for the faint-hearted. That's why we have more casuals in Europe. Or maybe less casuals, actually, because they have to stay up.
Yeah, it's definitely probably hindered the development of the sport, I think, over the years, the times of the pay-per-views. But listen, it's just part and parcel of it, and it's something you have to accept.
Can do it, man.
Yeah, I can. I'm tired.
Just drink coffee all night.
We're generally tired. I'm tired on a Monday when we do the podcast because it's tough on Sunday then to sleep and try and get your clock back. It never works that way. But we just got to get on with it, Pete. That's it. Just harden the fuck up, dude. Harden the fuck up.
Sorry,
thanks,
baby.
We appreciate it. All right, question in from Roscoe.
What's the crack, lads? Roscoe here out in Perth, Australia.
Woo!
Love the show. Keep up the good work. bit of a random one, but last week you had Brendan on as a guest, and he said something about you guys sticking up for him when he had a tiff or something with Dana White. Sounded like there could be a bit of juicy gossip there. Can you please elaborate? Nice one.
So
really.
when Brendan fought Bill Algeo on the Contender Series, we were very annoyed that he didn't get signed. And I was on a show the day after, the A side, when I worked for MMA Fighting, and I went on a good 2-minute rant about what the fuck are we doing here? This is supposed to be a sport. Brendan's beaten the best skilled opponent on the Contender Series card that night, and he didn't get signed. So I'd say it's still out there. If you just put it into Twitter, Petesy Loughnane or something like that, you might get it. I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm glad to hear that Brendan just sends that to people when they ask him how he feels about the Contender Series issue.
It was just, listen, we've said it for a long time about Brendan, how good he is, and he should rightly be in the UFC in my opinion to this day, but unfortunately just hasn't panned out that way, and we've always sort of thought there might have been something else behind the scenes, but apparently there isn't. Breakdown in relationship with the UFC and Brendan, but apparently that's not the case, so I just don't think Dana particularly likes his fighting style from all accounts. But that's it.
If you know my friends Al Nolan or Eamon Kidd in Perth, give them a nice kick in the balls next time you see them from me.
My cousin used to run the bar down by the Gabba there in Perth, the Irish club. He used to run that, so if you know him, he's not there anymore. Let me know. Throw us a text. All right, okay, another question. It's our good pal, Mikhail.
Oh, my. Fantastic.
He's back on. And oh, look, Jesus, again, Petesy. He's done it again. He's putting the rest of them to fucking shame.
From Russia with love.
Video message again. So here we go.
Hi guys, got a question for you. By the way, hope you're doing all right, Niall. I saw your picture the other day on Instagram. You were buying 3 points of Guinness, I believe.
I was.
Enjoying your time. But actually, you told us you wouldn't drink anymore.
I didn't say that.
So please, part of your life,
he did.
Just
he fucking
water
did.
under the bridge. Right. Very awkward.
Well done, Michael.
The main question is, do you think Sterling will make needed amends in his game plan to beat Petr Yan, or is already over and he's beaten mentally and physically clearly? I mean, yeah, the knee was like brutal, and he suffered.
Look at that James Joyce
but,
book, legend.
You know, I'm biased for Petr. He is such a good character, and I really like him. So I'm just want him to win everything, right? So anyway, do you think Sterling will be able to make some correction and apply them in their future fight? Thank you for this opportunity to ask you a question. So, hear you soon. Right.
Nice one, man.
Love this guy.
Always
Love this
appreciate
guy.
it. What a
Hi,
legend.
guys.
Mikhail, you're honorary Irish as well now, I think, with
Yeah.
that James Joyce book hanging around on the table. Fair play to you. And now 2 appearances on the Bash. I think we can safely say you have dual citizenship now.
I think so.
But I completely agree with the dude. I think that's a massive psychological advantage Yan takes into this fight. And let's not forget,
Huge.
Yan changed his whole camp before this. Like, it's not like he was in ATT for a few months and then he decided to fight. He literally arrived day one of my camp. I'm in ATT. I have 8 weeks to go. Let's go. And he pulls out a performance like that. That is immense. That's really, really spectacular in my opinion. And he's going to be confident in this next fight. No doubt about it. He was already confident. We saw how composed he was, even when they're calling out his name. Now that he's taken Aljo's best shots, he's defended his takedowns. Actually out-grappled Aljo.
Yeah.
To be honest. I think he's I can't see that going any other way.
Yeah,
No
and
way.
I think another thing as well, I think that's just how badly, Aljo seemed to fade, in my opinion. I think in that third round, he looked really, really tired. And there was, it was in my opinion, if the fight goes on another round, he's getting a finish in that fight in that fifth round. Aljo's just
He's about to finish him anyway.
slowing him mentally. And I don't think Aljo can turn it around that much in order to give Petr Yan any trouble. And that judge, again, should never judge a fight again. The judge who scored that fight for Aljamain Sterling, because it clearly wasn't his fight. Petr Yan all day will retain his UFC bantamweight title.
Aljo just doesn't seem to manage his stamina well. Like, I think he is very fit. It's just he comes out throwing so much, like so much, and Jan was just happy to sit there and take it because he was like, "You're just gassing yourself out here, son. Like, you're not hitting me with anything significant."
It was strange.
He landed some good body shots when he started going to the body, but that only happened midway through the fight.
Yeah, it was strange. So, I was sort of just going like, when we saw that fourth and fifth round, or sorry, the third and fourth round, it was almost everything just looked so telegraphed and slow that he was just sort of, am I even arsed at one point? I think his cardio just looks so poor, and I agree with you. I think he is fit. I just think it's mismanaged in how he goes out and fights on fight night, and that very much looked to be the case on Saturday night. Okay, nice one, man. We appreciate that. Okay, just two more quick ones. Okay, Oscar, with his usual one from the Crack Life.
Oh my God!
Hi, Petesy. Hello, Nige. I was just thinking, do you believe Israel Adesanya will ever be able to return to the light heavyweight division and beat a champion at that weight class?
We talked a little bit about it earlier.
Did you call Oscar off there?
No.
Why?
That was the end of the question.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's just abruptly and loud. I think
great job this week, Oscar. Fair play.
Yeah, always a great job. I think, as I said to you, I think he needs to go back down to middleweight, reassess things, and if he is to make a shot at 205 and fight a champion at some point down the line, I think he's going to have to do very much what John Jones did: take a year out, try and get the weight right, try and get the power right, and translate it over. And I think he will come back and fight at 205. And yes, and I do expect Izzy to beat a former champion or have some success in the 205 pound division when eventually that happens. And I will give that maybe 18 months to 24 months before we see that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he can be a champion. Like, I feel like, Oscar's probably seen it too. A lot of people just can't wait for guys who are brilliant to lose. Like, I mean, I felt he gave a very good account of himself. It was a close fight, to be honest. Jan was just a better man on the night. So, yeah, I feel like with a more conscious effort to move up in weight, maybe a little weight cut even. As Niall said, it's going to take some time to make it happen, but appreciate you, Oscar. Love that you've sent us a lovely voice message.
Nice
and Nige, thank you very much.
Nige, it's a new name. It was Noel last week, Nige this week, and Neil, I believe, the week before. But I appreciate it, my man. Looking forward to catching up when all this shit's over. Have a whiskey. Jeez, we'd some night in Brooklyn, myself and Oscar. When remember the old McGregor thing, we went out one night.
He's a great lad in the piss. He's a great lad in the piss.
We had some crack. We were up till I think 6 a.m. drinking whiskey, talking shite. Listening to fucking Alicia Keys and Jarrell New York and just wrecking the place. It was good crack. All right.
Sounds a bit weird.
Okay. Did actually sound a bit weird there. No, we were absolutely ossified. All right. Jimmy McLean. All right, James. What's the story, man? How are you? This is the last one we're going to play this week. Okay.
Han, Jimmy.
Well, lads, my question is regarding the women's featherweight division. After the Amanda Nunes victory at the weekend, do you expect that they will continue with the featherweight division, considering they're 2 years in to it and don't have any rankings and seemingly no contenders who could put up any kind of a decent fight to Nunes? Cheers, keep up the good work.
Nice one, brother.
He's not wrong. Like,
it's done. It's over.
Well, I don't think you can. I don't think the UFC can just do that to Amanda Nunes now. Like, you've made her go up there and fight at that weight class a number of times. She actually prefers fighting there. She said it, like, and now you're gonna go, oh, you can't fight there anymore. If that was Conor McGregor, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
If that was any other champion, they wouldn't be like, let's get rid of him. The onus is on the UFC to do something. Amanda Nunes can only...
But that's what's worrying, Petesy, is the onus is on the UFC to do something, because we've seen so often with situations like this that they fuck it up, and they've already fucked up the featherweight division for 2 years. So do you see it improving?
What do you think of Darren Till's suggestion of putting Amanda Nunes in there with some men at this stage? Because he said she would beat the shit out of some dudes. His great podcast, Opinions on Arseholes. You can get it on YouTube. It's an 8-minute classic. But... yeah, that's what he was saying. He genuinely believes that she could knock out some dudes. Like, no problem. Put some of the low ranked 145 guys in there, or not ranked guys, and he thinks that she could probably destroy them.
Just that'd be a great look for the sport, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we are gonna do that, but I'm just saying.
Let's go and do that.
But that's what it's come to, right? That's what it's come to. She's so dominant. We're literally talking about like.
Well, we're not
breaking down all theory of combat.
Yeah, like I know, I understand, but I think they do need to make a decision, and maybe it's in. They're going to have a word about it probably tomorrow in the matchmaking meeting. That, what are we going to do here? Are we going to make a push? Are we going to sign some legitimately good 45ers and put them up against Amanda Nunes? Or
are there any though?
Well, that's the problem. That's another problem. Are the UFC going to
right now? You'd go
going to waste their time?
Kayla Harrison, but like it's not as easy as like they're the two we've identified the talents.
Kayla's under contract.
They're both like, and Julia's under contract as well. Bellator, like I mean, she's just lost her title, I believe. Did she? Am I wrong there? But I don't know. It's going to be like two big moves you got to make in the market to have a division with 3 people in it. It's getting to be a big problem. Like
I think,
and it's UFC's fault. I don't think it's anyone else's.
There's no one else to blame bar the UFC. It looks
Amanda Nunes for being so damn good.
So damn good, yeah. But I just think, are they going to, try and rebuild this division or build it, because they never really built it in the first place, around a fighter who's probably got 1 or 2 more fights left. And I know she dispelled the retirement talk, but it's like there's not much else for her really to do bar the Shevchenko fight, I think, at the end of this year. So, no, I think the division's going to... Quick answer, I think the UFC are going to get rid of this division by the end of the year. I think
I don't even like the Shevchenko fight. Like, we've done it twice.
Neither do I, but I just think Amanda, as I said last week, I think Amanda... I still, and she sort of backed that up from what she said, as though she wants a couple of more fights. I think you just have to go along with that. If she's not screaming from retirement, she's still performing the way she is, maybe do this once more, and then, she might have a look. I'd be happy for her to retire, man. Now, no problem.
She's not going to retire.
She's not going to retire, yeah.
It's like we're trying to talk her into it at this stage.
Yeah, I think it would be great just seeing her legacy, go out on top, and we see it's happen so rarely that a fighter goes out at the very, very top, and I'd love to see her knock it on the head, but she's clearly not gonna. Like, I'm not gonna argue with her.
I want to see her do that to people more. That's amazing. It's one of the best things you can see in the sport is Amanda Nunes in full flight. I like, it's not like she's got bad KOs where we're like, oh, I just want her to stop. She looks brilliant. She looks really happy.
Yeah.
It's on the UFC to get the opponents right.
Big time. She's the nippers as well, which was pretty cool.
Regan.
Regan was
great haircut. Yeah. Regan had.
Yeah, it was very cool. So listen, all credit to her, the absolute very best in the world, in Amanda Nunes.
Hello, guys. If you want to hear more of The Bash, you can subscribe to us on all our wonderful channels on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and all that other shit.
And click the links below. Click the links below, the notification button. It comes straight to your phone if we've any fresh content. And also hit the subscribe button. It does help. You're some plonker.
It's very serious.